Welcome to another episode of Venom, where I, your host Leah, talk about politics and how they shape our society in a way that's not so ladylike. And no, I do not care about your feelings. So today's topics, it's going to be on words, facts, and truths. So when it comes to the LGBT community, the confused community, I do have a pet peeve with them. When you live in the world, there's going to be individuals who will not like you, simply because of who you are and what you do. And you just need to live with that and accept it. Just like you obviously, from their perspective, there's probably a lot of individuals who are in the heterosexual community who will never sleep with them and therefore they do not like them. So the one thing I can never understand with these individuals, and I'm not talking about the whole group, okay? So if the shoe fits, wear it. If it don't, kick it off. When you have certain individuals who want to insert themselves into our society in a manner in which it's inappropriate, I think it's time for the heterosexuals and the normal people who are in that confused community to actually say something, to stand up and say something. When this topic came up in a little Facebook chat. I wouldn't even call it Facebook chat, more like talking with one of my friends who may still be one of my friends on Facebook, but hey, they responded to one of my posts, and I don't have any problems with people responding to my posts, but if you do not read the post in all, and and when you do, you put your spin on what is clearly very specific about what I am trying to convey to the public in my post, I'm going to have to say something. I'm going to get involved and tell you that's your opinion, but I was not trying to attack anyone or any such thing. And the fact that you are taking it that way means that's a problem for you and not a problem for me. Because believe it or not, there are not a lot of people in this world that think like you. We're not monolithic or anything like that. So in this sense, the word, I don't know if anyone know who Cerebral Candy is, but this individual, I saw more like a conversation between him and Miss McGlover. I believe that's her name is, Miss McGlover. Oh, it's Megan McGlover. Yes, Megan McGlover. So in that episode that I was watching on her channel, her YouTube channel, it was they were talking about teachers and transgender teachers teaching children about their sexuality, and that boys can be girls and girls can be boys, which is fucking ludicrous. Well, Cerebral Candy had said a very eloquent statement that I just had to post on Facebook, and then even, I wouldn't say elaborate, but more like add on to it. So he wrote, "Without words, there can be no facts. Without facts, there can be no truths. Without truths, there will be no justice." Woo! Do you hear? Do you hear that? That makes shivers go up my spine. Well, I posted that in my little post, and then I added on to this post by stating facts that what a female is an adjective that is defined as or denoting the sex that can bear offspring or produce eggs. A woman is a noun that is defined as an adult female. A sister is a noun that is defined as a woman or girl in relation to other daughters and sons of her parents. A wife is a noun that is defined as a female partner in a marriage. If all of these are facts and truths, then a transgender woman can never be a woman. And to prioritize their needs over the many females on this planet is an injustice. So that was my post altogether. Now, this is going to get a little crazy, y'all. This is going to get a little crazy because it's individuals like, this who get very sensitive. This is very vague. No one was attacking anyone. I simply was just stating facts and truths. These are just words that I literally pulled up from a dictionary. And when we live in a society where people won't even admit that the words in the dictionary have a fucking definition, and if it's a definition that they don't like, they get so fucking butthurt over it. It drives me insane. But this was her response. This was her response to this. If this post is trying to attack the validity of trans women, that is really disappointing to me, Leah. I love my trans friends. Just 2 nights ago in our neighborhood, one of them was assaulted by a stranger just because she walked into a store and he didn't like her. She is a good human with a great heart. Okay, that's great. But did I say anything about your friend? No, I don't give a shit about your friend. Why? Because she means nothing to me. In a grand scheme of what it is called my life and my everyday responsibilities, the people I talk to, the people I love, she is infinitesimally invaluable to me. She does not mean a thing to me. The fact that she's just a human being, other than that, obviously I would have some compassion for her, for him, but I'm not going to play around with this. I'm not going to play around with other people's feelings. This is a man. I'm sorry that that person had to go through that, but guess what? We live in a society where people will not agree with whatever you're doing with your life, who you are, and that's something that you just have to deal with. You brush it off and you walk on by, and that's it. However, in instances like this where you're just so vague, I never understand why individuals get so butthurt and then give you some antidote of a friend when I'm like, this isn't even talking about her. My response to this was, well, that's your opinion. Words have meanings and they cannot be changed to suit an agenda. And in this case, redefining the definition of a woman so that transgender women can compete with women instead of just making their own league, especially if it hurts the very group of people who fought the most to have transgenders embraced by the society, women. And this is very true, okay? I'm gonna stop quoting what I was just saying, and then once I get back to quoting, I will let you know. This is very true. I'm just going to make this side note. A lot of women have gay friends. It's not men. A lot of men may have a lot of men may have gay girlfriends, but as far as gay dudes, that was never a huge thing where you saw straight dudes who were friends with gay dudes simply because they didn't want to get the messages I guess cross when they're meeting people or hanging out with people. And I understand that appearances is everything. However, it's been mainly women who have been advocating for the world to embrace this transgenderism and this whole, confused community. And now it has led to our own detriment, our own existence. Our own existence could be called into question now because men want to play dress up and pretend. Fuck them. So now I'm going to go back to what I was saying, to the quote in my response to this person, this individual. I'm disappointed that you won't even admit it and you are a woman. It is unfair to have many centuries in which women were not able to participate in society, to vote or work as politicians, tax accountants, scientists, explorers, physicians, and many other occupations and careers that men had forgotten. And it is disrespectful to not honor the women and men that came before us and fought for women to have their space in society without infringing upon men. The trans community needs to do the same thing. There's nowhere in this post, and I am going to use her words, in which I attack the validity of transgender. I am stating simple facts like F equals ma, and that the speed of sound is 340 meters per second. If you can't live, you can live in a lie, but you cannot force me to. And if you don't like my posts or opinions, you can simply block me, unfriend me, or change your notifications. Okay, So now this friend of mine, she's a white woman, and this right here, I might lose some individuals on this topic, or just on this episode, but I don't care. There is a very trending sign that a lot of people, for some reason, just cannot see or just refuse to see. But I'm going to spell it out there for you. In our society, we have two different types of white people here in America. We have white people who actually just want to go on, live their lives day by day. And these are the individuals who are actually nice humans. They're very nice people. They're very compassionate. A lot of the times, if they will drop what they're doing to help out a stranger. There are white people out there like that, but those individuals tend to be very quiet, very self-reserved to themselves. They are very focused in life. And then there are the other whites. The other whites are always out there trying to just find any little protest or movement that they can just piggyback off of because they feel like injustices has been done. But yet these white individuals don't even understand their own fucking privilege in society, and knowing and when they push certain things, they never understand the repercussions that will ultimately affect the groups that they're trying to protest for. And what do I mean by this? Okay. So this woman, she's a white woman, this friend, she's a white woman. And like, they're so wrapped up in their own little heads that they don't understand that I don't care about you and your transgender friends, but there's going to be some individuals who do not like transgenders being into women's spaces because they will take away certain positions and certain fields that were designed for women. I don't know, maybe like titles that were designed for women, like being the first woman to do something, and now that's being given to a man who wants to simply play dress up because he's tired of being a man. These types of women don't understand their own privilege and the fact that they have been able to do a lot of things a lot longer than other types of women in our society. I am a Black female, and I know for a fact that Black females and white females were not able to vote at the same time for a very long time. White women were able to vote once the 19th Amendment passed. As a result of the women's suffrage movement, but that was not the case for Black Americans. So when the women's suffrage movement occurred, that was back early 1900s, Black women, we were not even able to vote. Even after that passed, we were not able to vote until after the civil rights movement. So when I have a white person here who doesn't even know her own history here in our country, she doesn't even see her own privilege as to why, to her, she can say whatever the hell she wants. But other women like me, I'm going to feel like, no, I just got these rights. And now you want to have another man invade and start taking titles that belong to women? I don't think so. So I went on, and that was me just, giving my own little opinion to you guys right now. Before I go on to finish my second response to her, which she did not respond to at all, because I think I closed this, I nipped this conversation once and for all in the bud with her. So my second response to this was also, but if you really must know why I won't tell lies to embrace transgender women as women, and it's only towards the ones that want to replace women, not the ones that do know there is a difference between men and women, like Blair White. It's because I am a Black woman in America. We have been vilified, targeted, and abused in society by men and women of your complexion for a very long time. Black women were not able to fully embrace their God-given rights, which they were born with in the good old US of A until the civil rights movement. And now it's mostly white, weak men who claim to be transgenders or transvestites taking estrogen, getting titles and positions that are designed for women. There is a saying along the lines of, when white people catch a cold, Black people catch a flu. So when women start to feel the effects of allowing this by not sticking to logic, Black women will feel it 10 times as hard, and you know it. So yeah, if you don't want to fight to preserve your rights as a woman and a human being, then I will. And this is something that a lot of people from the LGBT community do not ever take into account. America has a long history of when times get tough, the first people who get fired, the first people who are let go are Black people. So when I see white men taking roles and titles that are normally traditionally for women, until these past couple of years, I'm going to be really concerned that these individuals will one day take my spot if we're put up against each other. And because they seem more marginalized, someone might deem them more marginalized than me, then they get the role simply because they are a transgender. So that's the end of this episode. Thanks for tuning in. And until next time, stay safe. God bless. Goodbye.